Let me know when you folks can see. Hopefully this is visible. So before that, let me send all the workshops that I'm going to walk you, because 10 minutes, I have quite a few workshops that I can show you. So let me send all of them workshops, which we will upload it to the resources section also. But here are the links of all the workshops that I'll be showing right now. The one is the first is the one observability workshop, and Giuseppe did cover it in quite detail about all of it. But here you will have to set up your environment, and you can set up your environment in your own AWS account, uh, and then you can deploy the application. And that application is more of a a pet store uh, application, uh, which on top of it, which will be doing all the observability that Giuseppe was showing. And here, you talked about the logs and how you can navigate the logs inside and look into it in detail. So if you're starting with observability, this will be a really good workshop to go into it step by step and then slowly start diving deep into it. Logs, metrics, X-ray traces. You see, we did touch about it in how useful it can be for in the microservices scenario. We have a specific workshop for microservices. I'll show you that in a moment. Then application monitoring. This is something really interesting. You should be looking into this CloudWatch server lens map. It enhances the observability, and it integrates both CloudWatch and X-ray to provide an end-to-end view of your application. So if this is something that observability is, if you're area of interest, or if you're looking into diving deep into this topic, this is something that you should be definitely looking into and doing the workshop with the serverless map, that how it is able to show the full end-to-end view of your application components. Then there is a CloudWatch synthesis in the application monitoring. This is where the advanced stuff starts. You can look into how you can do more advanced stuff. And then the CloudWatch real-time user monitoring, real user monitoring. you know this is really good if you can go through these workshops. And then we have normal insights and dashboards, all of which uh, Giuseppe touched upon. But in the time frame that we have, we'll be able to touch upon them. But it's up to you how much dive deep you would like to go into each of this. But even in the insights, you can see for containers we have insights separately. For Lambda we have insights. For the contributors we have insights. And then something like the question that was asked, that apart from native, we do have managed open source observability. And that's where the industry leading tools for observability like Prometheus or Grafana, we have managed service for all of them, so that you can focus on actually building on top of them, rather than doing the admin stuff to install and manage them on your one. uh, if the links, that links, I'm not sure why they let me do and paste the each of the link. Okay, separately. Hopefully then it will be, yeah. Anyways, we'll be uploading the right links. It might have, in the copy paste, it might have gone bad. Yeah, these are the main two workshops actually that I've sent right now. The second one, how much time do you have? 7 minutes. Okay. The second one is interesting, which is CloudWatch and CloudTrail and CloudWatch monitoring. Giuseppe did talk about in detail about why CloudTrail is used and why CloudWatch is used. And now this particular workshop is about how you can integrate your CloudTrail logs into CloudWatch and then do analysis on top of it. So go through this workshop, and see how you can actually do all of that. So this is like CloudTrail monitoring, a demo using the same pet adoptions, a store that we have seen in the one observability workshop. And it goes through the entire thing, and all the logs are sent to CloudWatch, and then they are visualized in the CloudWatch. If you see the log insights, the metrics, and then the anomaly detection. This is really important, anomaly detection, that in case if there is something happening, which is not like in regular terms, then you would need to get like alerts and alarms, and then accordingly take actions on top of it. So that's really important. And then you have sections for alarms, and then setting up the dashboards, that how you can set up the dashboards, and then subscription filter. So this would be really helpful if you want to like look into what is happening in your AWS accounts, through the CloudTrail log, and then integrate with CloudWatch, and then automate all of that observability on top of it. Then the third one is microservice observability uh, workshop. Now, this is really important actually. Like when microservice architecture is really great, uh, because it gives a lot of uh, advantages, like you can uh, have this fault isolation in each of the microservice. You can deploy them independently, you can do the changes independently. It's not based on the monolithic architecture. But then the drawback becomes is that when your number of microservices keeps growing, then it is more difficult to actually monitor them and troubleshoot them. And that is why observability in microservices is becoming more, like it's most important. And this particular workshop goes using Amazon open search workshop, which is based on the ELK stack. And then it uses the different architectural components to actually say. And again, this is more advanced. If you have been working in microservices architecture for a while, you would be probably might have heard about uh, few uh, tools and how you do the observability. And then this will actually help you in getting there on AWS. It goes into quite depth about how you can generate the traces, and like do the observability and use all of them in the open source search, and then create a Kibana a dashboard on top of it. Cool. And then finally we have another one, serverless observability workshop. And this serverless let me first of all send the links to these also in the chat. This is for the microservice one, and this is for the service observability workshop. Now, Giuseppe already showed in a nutshell that how Lambda observability can be done. But this, is something that goes into great detail about how you can set up the observability for the serverless. And then again, it has option to run in your own account, right? So in your own account, you can, have it set up with the prerequisites and creating a workspace. Um, and then it goes dive deep into how. Let me show the app here. So here they use a separate app in this workshop. This app is like having this API gateway, then having a couple of lambdas, and that is uh, putting the data in DynamoDB table. So if you see, all the services are like serverless services that are being uh, used here. So once you do that, and then it has these options of get item, put item, and then you are able to uh, monitor that what is happening with each of these like APIs. And again, this also goes into the sections of metrics, alarms, dashboards. So yeah, uh, go ahead and play with them as much as possible. And this is something that will be really useful. It will be useful even from your certifications perspective, but in real life when you'll be building applications on top of like the cloud native applications, these will be really useful for you folks, in terms of understanding what is happening in your applications, and any production incidents happening. This will be your friend, believe me. With that, thank you so much. Let me see who all we have currently available. So we have Parna available. Let me stop my screen share, and then let me add Parna to this team. And we also have Abhijit. Abhijit is always there, helping us behind the scene background. Thank you so much, Abhijit. And thank you, Parna. Thanks everyone for joining us today, and we will all see you next week. So next week, eighth week would be the last week for uh, your technical uh, stream. Let me do one thing. Let me share my screen again, and we can look into uh, you know It's okay. It's there on our website. The last screen I can talk about what is the topics for the next week, and that is, yeah, Amazon EC2 auto scaling, and then the load balancers, and then we'll be having the hands-on activities for those, and that will be the last week for the technical track. And then after that week, we are actually starting the behavioral track for the 4 weeks. So is there anything specific, like we do have some guest speakers lined up for the behavioral track, and we are planning for a few other things. But if there is anything specific that you would like us to cover in the behavioral track, feel free to let us know. um, let us know on the LinkedIn group, or feel free to DM any of us. And then yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Have a good weekend, everyone. Thank you all. Cheers.